This is the question asked in today's SkillTrack daily challenge. So in the first line of our input, we are given an integer m as input and we are given an array of m integers. And after that we are given an integer n as input and we are given an array of n integers. So in this case, totally there are 9 integers. So first we were given 5 integers and after that we are given 4 integers. So now our task is to convert these arrays into a square matrix. So in a square matrix, the number of rows should also be equal and the number of columns should also be equal. So we have 9 integers. So we can form a square matrix of size 3 cross 3 so that the rows count is also equal and the columns count is also equal, and we can store all the integers into the matrix. So in our output we can see that we are forming a 3 cross 3 matrix, and in this matrix first we have to fill it with the integers ARR1. So first I am filling the ARR1 integers, so 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So now we have filled the first 5 integers of ARR1, and now we should fill it with the ARR2 integers. So here I am filling with 99, 88, 77 and 66. So we have used all the integers of ARR1 and ARR2 and we have formed a new matrix. So this is how we should be forming a square matrix. So our task is only to implement a function named getMatrix from arrays, which performs this operation. So we will be given the ARR1 and ARR2 in the arguments and we have to return it as a matrix. So now let us see the code which is already given to us. So this is the code which is already given to us. So first two integer variables named m and n are being created, and then m is accepted as input and the integer array named ARR1 of size m is being created, and m integers are being accepted and stored into ARR1. Similarly for the integer ARR2, so n is accepted as input and n integers are accepted and stored into ARR2. So after accepting the input, a function named getMatrix from array is being called. So in the arguments we are passing the values of m, ARR1 and then n and ARR2. So this function is expected to return a double pointer to the output matrix. So that is stored in the double pointer named new matrix. So after that we are iterating through the new matrix and we are printing it in our output. So now let us see how we will be defining the function named getMatrix from array so that we will be able to print the correct output. So this is that function named getMatrix from array and it is expected to return a double pointer. And then in the arguments, first we are accepting the integer m and then an integer array named ARR1 and then an integer n and an integer array named ARR2. So these are the values which we are accepting in the arguments. So now using the values of m and n, we have to determine the size of the output square matrix. So it will be nothing but the square root of m plus n. So in the first test case we had an array of 5 and 4 integers. So 5 plus 4 is equal to 9 and the square root of 9 is equal to 3. So this is how we are going to determine the side of the square matrix. And after that I am creating a double pointer named new array, and we don't know how much memory it needs. So using malloc function we are going to allocate memory. So within the arguments I am giving size of int into 101. So now we should start storing the integers into this new array. So I am going to create a nested loop, and in every iteration of the nested loop we will be storing the integers into new array. So we can see that this I loop iterates from 0 till I less than set, because that will be the number of rows for this new matrix and the number of columns will also be same. So in every iteration of this I loop, first we have to allocate memory before storing the integers. So I am setting new array of I is equal to, again we are calling the malloc function and we are allocating a memory of size of int into 101. So only after allocating memory we can store the integers into the column. So now we are going to create this j loop. So this j loop also iterates from 0 till j less than side, and in every iteration of this nested loop, here we have to implement a logic to store the integers of ARR1 and ARR2 into this new array. So in every iteration for indexing we will be using new array of ij. So if we have used all the integers of ARR1, then we should start using the ARR2. So within this we have to implement a logic for that. So this is the main structure for solving today's daily challenge. So finally after the execution of this nested loop, all the integers will now be stored in new array. So finally we have to return the new array, so that in the main function we will be iterating through it and printing the correct matrix as the output. So this is the logic to solve today's daily challenge. Thank you for watching.